Hi everyone, welcome to Goo Beauty. So the perfect palette tag, I've been thinking about doing this one for a while and then I just sort of didn't get around to it, and then Glossy Confidential, which is Talia, tagged me, so thank you for tagging me. I'll put a link below to her channel and also to the 8 questions that there are, so I thought I'm going to do this. And yes, I haven't forgotten the other tags that people have posted to me. I just actually found this one relatively easy. I thought it was going to be hard, but when I really sat down, thought logically about it, it was actually quite easy. So those other ones I'm still trying to wrap my head around, so I haven't forgotten. Anyway, enough rambling, get to the questions. So any messages? The first one is best packaging. Now I actually answered this twofold. Because I am a reviewer, I went for the what's the most functional packaging, and also being a collector, I thought, well, what's the most beautiful or prettiest packaging. So I went with the best or the prettiest packaging one that I thought, and it's actually, I'm not even sure if many people remember this one. It's one that came out a fair while ago. It's one of the first sort of eyeshadow quads that I got when I started YouTube, and this looks really boring. The box is really boring, and I actually don't use the eyeshadows anymore because they're fairly old, but it's the actual packaging that I love. This is the Elizabeth Arden. It's from the Go Red Awareness collection they had quite a few years ago now, and that was to raise funds for women's heart disease. So I mean, it was a good cause. Pamphlet in a little velvet pouch, but check this out. Hopefully this will come off on camera. It is just so pretty. Let's see if I can get how close I can get. The actual colours, you can see they're quite nice, sort of lovely natural colours. It was just this pretty quad. I'll just quickly read you what it is about. It's actually from a 1935, I think, is it a mural or? It's okay. The design on the special edition compact was inspired by the Pageant of Beauty, a 14-panel mural commissioned by Miss Elizabeth Arden in 1935 to celebrate the universal beauty of women through the ages. And this is part of the 20th century woman, part of that mural. It's the ideal of modern beauty in the 1930s, and I think it's still a beautiful classic sort of, I suppose, print. And I don't know if I'll pan up, hopefully this will actually, up there. I collect a lot of sort of artwork. I mean, they're not the real deal, they're prints, but I sort of like that sort of, I don't know what you call it, Art Nouveau sort of, and Art Deco sort of style as well. Anyway, that's completely random, you don't even need to know that, but anyway. And the other part was one that I find the most functional or the best sort of packaging, and it's one I've had this year actually. It's actually this Lorac Pro To Go palette. So you can have it like that to travel. You can also flatten it out, which is what I like about it, like that. And it's got the magnetized bits. I mean, I've done a review, I'll link that down below if you're interested, but you've got the cheek and then the eyeshadows on the other side. So I like that, I like the way it folds, and it's also very light because it's just that, cardboard, that sort of covered cardboard. So it's also quite light to travel with, so that's what I like about it. So it's a very functional little pack. Maybe not the best one out of what I've got, definitely not, but just the best functional packaging, and the other one was the prettiest. Anyway, too much on that question. Number 2, the best colour payoff. Oh my goodness. I mean, I've tried MAC, I've tried Urban Decay, sleek eyeshadows. I have to say, honestly, the best colour payoff and the colour pigmentation has to be the Wet n Wild eyeshadows, which is the price point is actually really good. I mean, we pay a little bit more in Australia because we have to get them online and that, but just I love it. So these, and I actually chose 2 because they're ones that I use so often. There's the Greed palette, which I love sort of for every day at work, and then to glam it up for night, and then this one maybe on the weekends. It's something more neutral, even like this for work's quite neutral nudes, and this is the Vanity. I just love these palettes, and I love how they've got the matte, the mixture of matte and shimmer finishes or frost in. So you get 6, and they're just cute little, easy to throw in your bag little palettes. The only thing I do say about them, and a lot of people do mention it, is they are quite soft. So you really only need the littlest or the lightest touch with the eyeshadows, but I love the pigmentation. Number 3, the most versatile palette. Ugh. Where's my piece of paper? I have to refer to my little aunt. Oh yes, the Lorac, this one. This one. I think this is the Lorac Pro eyeshadow palette, the first one that came out. I like it because of the fact you've got a whole bunch of matte and a whole bunch of shimmer. I mean, you know, I've got my naked palettes as well, the original and the naked 2. My husband just snuck into the room and dragged a box out. He's like, oh, she's filming. But yeah, I just love it because it's just, again, it's a nice light palette I can sort of take around in my bag, maybe from going out, as rare as that is, after work. But I just love all of the colours. I just so practical, everyday. You can glam it up. You can. It's black. It's got everything in there. And really, if you were trying to choose between the Naked palettes and the Lorac Pro, I mean, you don't need to have all of them like I do. Although there is the new Naked 3, so I've just ordered it from Ulta. So, and it was free shipping to my US order, and we'll see how that goes. I could have got it through Taraz, but I was trying to work out the shipping plus the excess price versus, you know, me getting it in US dollars and getting it shipped here. So we'll see how that goes. I'll let you guys know. That's the Naked 3 Urban Decay palette. Number 4, the best for traveling. I have to say the one that I use the most when I go traveling or away for a weekend or something is this one. And I've had this for a fair few years. This is the Youngblood Mineral Eyeshadow Palette, and I think it's the romantic one. But I love how, especially if I'm packing a lot in my bag, it's actually hard. It's just plastic, but it's like fairly sturdy, and this has been knocked around and everything. It's got a really good, like, large mirror, which is what I like. But it's the fact that it's got lip, eyeshadow, highlight, and the cheek. It's got a shimmer and a matte finish blush in here. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a bronzer in here, but that's the only thing I wish it had. But I love how, if I'm also going away, I've got my little hard cases that I travel with as well. I can actually take these out. And obviously they're made so you can interchange them between palettes. For example, maybe another one's got a contour and you can whack it in. I've only got this one palette, but I love mineral eyeshadows and mineral blushes and that, so that's another reason why I like it. But I love how sort of hard the cover is, how you can swap it around, and the colours. But one of the blushes in there is quite a bit like the NARS Orgasm as well, that sort of peachy pinky gold shimmer. Number 5, the biggest regret. Oh god, there's tons I could mention, especially MAC palettes, because I used to just go all out and buy it just for the packaging, and yeah, anyway. But when I sat down and I thought about it, really, it's actually one of the first. I have kept this to just remind myself how silly I can be sometimes. And this is, it's actually not really, well, it is a palette, but it's really a duo. There's 2 eyeshadows in here, but it's one, honestly, when you look at it, you don't think it is an actual little eyeshadow thing. I got when I first started, I suppose, sort of collecting and trying bits and pieces. I didn't really know any better. This, I don't know how Lancome or why they brought it out. It's really pretty. It's like a, not an oyster, it's like but it's really pretty. It's a sort of pearly little, as you can see, seashell theme duo. The thing is though, it's not plastic, it's actually, it's metal. And when I say it's heavy, it is heavy. Like, I used to try and sort of take it out in my bag. This thing weighs a ton. I'm not joking. I could actually take out some with this. It's like a brick. It is that heavy. It's ridiculously heavy. Like, just, there is no reason for it to be heavy. And when you open it, it's really pretty. It's got like the little pearl in there. It's got this cute little mirror. And you've got these 2 gorgeous shades, which I hardly ever used. But this one is, I suppose, one of those duo, is it what you call a duochrome, like a 2-toned, like a highlight, but it's got that pink finish to it, like a champagne pink. So you can use it as your highlight, and then you've got like a all over lid or a crease color. But really, that shade, it looks like a bronzer to me, but it is pretty. Nothing wrong with the pigmentation or the color payoff of it, but it was just ridiculous because I paid $70 for these 2 little shadows in a duo. You can't really take anywhere. It's hard to store because it's awkward. It's like it doesn't sit in a drawer properly. You can't stack it anywhere because it falls over. You drop it, it's like, you know, it's dangerous. It's a weapon. So yeah, that is my biggest regret. It was $70. I could have gotten a whole ton of really useful sort of products, but I keep it just to remind myself how silly I can be. But it's a good paperweight. Number 6, the best color names. The best color names. I had to think about this because some of them are really witty or really cute, but when I was looking at some of my sleek palettes have some of the best color names. I think it was this one. This is the Mediterranean one, the Monaco. And I mean, look how gorgeous those colors. Come on, look how gorgeous the colors are. But I'll just read off the colors. You've got, there's Bamboo, Aquamarine, Midnight Garden. They're pretty sort of it's boring standards. Sunset, Washed Ashore. But it's this one down here, or a couple of them. There's Lotus Flower, Hummingbird, Moore's Treasure, but it's Kiwi Zest. I don't know why, but just, I mean, obviously it's a beautiful green. It's, you know, alluding to, what's it, Chinese gooseberries, the kiwi fruit. But, you know, I'm a Kiwi, and every time I hear the word kiwi, whether it be to the bird or fruit, I think of home, and it's just that, and it's a beautiful fresh green, so it makes me think of home. So Kiwi Zest. I know that's just lame, but that's what I think is the best colour nowadays. Number 7, the least used. There's a lot. I mean, there's easy. I could just like randomly grab a NYX palette. Hardly use that one. There's a ton of sleep palettes I hardly use. I've got a lot of sleep palettes. I've just about got every one I think that there was ever created. No, not really, but I do have a few. When it comes down to it, I think the least used is all of those 88 palettes and the 120 palettes. These, they're great. There was a few, like I love the warm palette, and is it the neutral one? They're great. I love them. I used them almost to death when I first got them, but then I started trying to collect all of the other ones, like the Metal Mania palette. These are Crush Cosmetics, but they're pretty much identical to the Coastal Scents ones, or the ones you can get on eBay from Hong Kong. The 120 palette, and when you look at it, one side I've kind of used, and then the other side, which I can't even get open, oh yeah, here we go, is actually unopened. Like I haven't taken the seal off. Like I've got other NYX palettes, like the Soho, I think it's the Soho palette. Haven't touched that one. So yeah, that range, they're great to practice looks with, definitely great for that, but really they're the least used, because I don't sort of grab them as an everyday sort of look, or to create something, or etc. So now I'm getting hot. It's actually quite toasty in here, and I tried to have a light on, so I do apologise if maybe the lighting hasn't come off. I'm trying to get used to sort of I've just finished work, and I'm trying to get used to using what natural light we have as in balance with sort of the artificial lighting that I've got with this camera, so I'm not really sure, so I do apologise. Okay, and number 8, your most used, most loved. There's the your holy grail product. Now I sat down and thought about it, and I was easily going to go, oh look, the Naked palettes, come on, hello, Naked, Naked 2, Naked, and honestly Naked I use the most, because even though it's warmer, I actually prefer the colours. I thought I'd love the cooler tone in here, but I actually reach for this much more often. But, to be completely honest, the one that I've loved the most, I still try and sneak it every now and again when I shouldn't, it's actually this one. It's one from the Magic Mirth and Mischief collection that Mac put out a few years ago. It's a pretty little palette, not too much reflection going on there, but the colours in here are just gorgeous. It kind of like what's a cross between the Naked and the Naked 2 palette, but there's only 6 shadows. I love them, particularly these two, and they're this is the Smoke and Mirrors palette. I think it's Wide-Eyed Wonder and Spell Number 9 or something, that I love them, but all of them I just love them to death, and I just think that the colours are just gorgeous. There's nothing quite like some of the colours in here that I could actually dupe or find, so that would be one that I'd love to take with me, but of course it's so old I'd have to go for the Naked palette. But guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully I can edit out, and I know the light is fading really fast, so again I apologise if the lighting has gone really bad in this video, but thanks for watching. And